Howdy, folks. I know it's a little odd starting inside my house for once, and you'll have to pardon my mess. I've still got stuff scattered everywhere from when I packed up for Seattle, and I just really haven't fully unpacked and cleaned up everything that I was doing. But today, we are going to learn how to start fishing for less than $20. Just prove that it doesn't have to be an expensive thing to get started. So I tried to film actually buying the stuff, but the store got mad at me. So, Coffee, stop clawing the damn couch. Don't. All right. So I guess we'll just have to take my word for what's on here. But I started off. I bought this little 2-foot little spinning rod, and these come. You can generally find these at most sports stores. I went to Academy. It was next to the Jeep dealership, and I had to get an oil change. So this costs. Let's see here. $9.99. So about $10 on there. Throw on some tax. Maybe you're looking at like 12 or so. I don't know what the tax rate is. I don't have my receipt. So this comes pre-spooled with a little 4-pound line. And we'll have to give that a test because these pre-spool lines typically kind of suck. So this might throw our budget off on the $20 if the line is crappy because you'd have to redo that. But we're going to do it. We're going to see what it's like. And then I got one of these little Strike King Bitsy Minnow. Now, I use these all the damn time. So if you watch my channel kind of frequently, you'll see these used a lot. And this only costs $4, I think. I don't know. Let me look. I took a picture of it just so I can make sure I get this right. And $4.29. So we'll just call that 5. So there's 15 for you. And then the most important part, aside from, what you need to catch fish, is a pair of pliers. Now, I use these little tiny Craftsman. They're electrical pliers, and specifically if you're going to be catching small little fish, like I'm mostly targeting, like sunfish, little bluegill and pumpkin seeds and whatnot. These little tiny plier needles get into their tiny little mouths with those tiny little hooks much better than, a regular pair of needle nose, which is like 4 times as wide as this. And those typically, I've had those forever, but they only cost like $3 or $4, I think. So pretty much you're under $20. So with that, I think I'm going to go see if I can catch some fish before the sun goes down. And I'm just going to head out to my pond out back. And hopefully there's something in there still. I had a neighbor that fished that thing clean. It's not technically my pond, but I have permission to fish in it, and that guy didn't. So, this will also give me an idea if there's still any kind of forage left in that pond, because I'm thinking about restocking it with bass that I catch eventually once I talk to the neighbor about it. So with that, we're going to head out in the backyard and see what we can find. All right, coming up to the pond here. The guy who owns it, I guess his kids or maybe grandkids while I was in Seattle, really started clearing out the land around here, which is nice because this thing was covered in brush, thorns. It was really hard to get into it except for 1 or 2 spots, but they really opened this thing up. So now I've got all kinds of places to cast from, still full of snags. So I've got my Bitsy Minnow tied on here. I gave the line a tug test. It's stronger than it looks. I think it's heavier than 4 pounds, actually. It feels kind of thick. So this might actually be maybe up to an 8-pound. But we're gonna throw some casts around. Hopefully not get snagged, because all I brought out here was this one little lure with me. And see if there's still any kind of small fish in here. Tiny bass, maybe some sunfish. Who knows? I can see some tiny minnows right here in front of me, so that's a good sign. Man, that casts like crap. And it's swimming like crap. That's great. Well, that's not a good start to show this off, but you can see all that twist there. That's a lot of line memory, which is a problem you might run into with pre-spooled things. So we're gonna have to deal with that. A heavier lure would definitely help with that issue, but that wasn't in the game plan today. So we'll see what we can make happen with this, and maybe I can figure out why this thing's swimming sideways. It could be the line itself. Still doing it. Yeah, okay. Well, it's a little better there. It's a little off. I'm gonna give it a little tweak. So on these, if they're swimming a little weird, generally you take this little the little clip that's actually connected to the lure on the nose. Just grab that, and I'm gonna give it a little twist, because it looks like it's just a little bit cockeyed. That might help. Tiny, tiny adjustments on these things. And as I cast this, it's getting a little better. Still going. Oh, there's a fish. This is a teeny tiny little largemouth, which is good to know, because that means there are still largemouth in here that are breeding, because this thing had to have been born. Come here. You see your mouth? This had to have been hatched this year to be this small. So there's still breeding size fish in here, which is good. When I first moved in 3 years ago, got the damn thing caught in my flannel. This seems to be a common occurrence now. But when I first moved in, I could catch bass in here like crazy, even up to like 2 or so pounds, probably put that fish back. And one of the neighbors would just come in here and take all the fish out of it, who wasn't allowed to be fishing in this pond. I was the only person who had permission to do it. And I have not caught a fish in this pond in probably 2 years now. But that gives me some hope. Oh, Coco! My cat's crying for me. I don't know if she's ever been up here to the pond. God dang it. Just, well, it's really hard when you got 6 hook points to try to get just one out. Coco, sweetheart. Hello, are you coming to fish with me? Yeah? Okay. Oh, who's a good kitty? You're a good girl. You gonna hang out with me? All right. Come on, we're coming over here. This is nice having this so much more open. It used to be so hard to fish around in here. There's only really 2 spots you could cast from. Ugh. So when you're trying to deal with this stuff, kind of flipping your bail yourself will help keep from these twist ups to happen. Making sure that you don't just let a lot of slack line pull itself off the reel, because it's just going to want to pop off the reel all the time. Well, that's not good. I can get out onto that log. Around all these thorns right here. God damn it, flannel. This log is fresh and floating. This could go poorly. Oh, got it. All right. Wasn't too bad. Oh, looks like my nose is acting up again. When you get snagged up like that, like I did on the log, sometimes pulling it out will muck your nose up, but actually it looks like that might be the hooks being tangled. Let's give it another shot. Everything's all tangled now. There's a fish. Ooh, that's a better fish. All right. I gotta get him over this log. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. Way better than I would have expected to pull out of here. Let's get the hooks out of him. There's no pliers. Well, look at that. Well, even that little bitty rod on that little cheap line with those tiny hooks managed to pull this in over a log nonetheless. So, you know, you can fight a decent fish with this rod. This is nice. I like it. No trespassing hunters or fishing. Well, see, it's been like 3 years, but I did talk to old man Bob when I first moved in. So I'm just gonna stick with the assumption that I have permission to be here. I think it might be best after today, I'm already here doing it, that I may need to just go talk to him again, just to make sure. Especially those signs are brand new. His kids were out here doing work, or grandkids, whoever. So there's a chance that old man Bob might not be around, which would be sad. He was a good guy. Oop, there's another little guy. Crap, get out of there. Not nearly as big as the last one, but this is also a good sign. We're seeing a variety of sizes of fish in here, which means that there's a variety of ages. Now, I haven't caught many bluegill, which is what I came here to target. I didn't really think there were any bass left in here, so I mean, I'm pleased with the bass, but kind of need to check on the forage levels more than anything to see if we got a nice, productive, healthy fishery here. I know there's those little minnows, which, you know, they're okay, but they can't sustain big bass. Like that one we caught earlier would just eat the crap out of those guys. You know, I might get hung up here. Nope, got it out. Surprising. Nope, got a twist though. There we go. All right, got this little peninsula here, which you never used to be able to get onto. Sometimes it's underwater, but generally it's got so much brush and thorn and everything's all over it. I've never been able to walk onto it. This is great. So this looks like an okay area to cast on this side, but it's a little harder to get into. Well, maybe you're right here. This won't be so bad. Hopefully I don't get stuck in, oh, there's a big chunk of grass right here, which, you know, beneficial. Grass is good, but not for my lure, because I'm just gonna get tangled up in that. Let's look at this side. Got grass up on the shore, but it's clear most of the way out there. So let's see what we can make happen. Oh, something's chasing bait right here in the weeds. Unfortunately, I can't really cast through there. No way I'd get a lure in and out of there, but they were chasing the minnows up on the shore here. Typically, where we started fishing, and right here were the only ways to access this little lake. Well, Jesus Christ. Well, that was a startle. Just hanging out there. Well, I think the fish maybe got just as scared as I did after that. I'll give it a couple casts, but I have no faith in us catching anything now out of right here. I don't want them to wander too close up to their home. I feel like I saw a fish come up right here at the shoreline as I was bringing it in. Yep, there he is. Another little bass. Nice little fish. I wonder, I'd have to bring it across all these weeds here. I wonder how well I could do that. Oh, that's... All right, I think we lost it here. Oh, no, still coming. Nope, come on. Let's see how tough this is. Hey, got it out. Back over here where I can reach it at least. All the way. Excellent. Now I got this knot in here. Let's give it a cast. Now these little Strike Kings, they float. So you can just throw it out in the water and let it sit. And you should be fine to do things like fix these knots. And when you're reeling up all this slack, you always want to make sure you have tension on the line. My line is wrapped around these sticks. There we go. Now I got wrapped up in the top. There's my Strike King, right in there. All right. All right, well, that was a quick little trip. Sun's probably gonna be set here pretty soon. Coco is glaring at me. Let's go get her so she can come back to the house with me if that's what she wants. You know, for $10 and then a little, well, the little $5, $4 lures, we already know I love those. But aside from the line that's already on it, this was a pretty decent rod. You know, I landed an okay fish for the size that I got. Coco, where are you going? Coco! Coco, what are you doing? Yeah, I wouldn't want to be pet with a rod either. All right, come on, we're going home. So, overall, I'd say it's a success. And if you got 20 bucks to spare, I mean, it was a fun little time. So, there's just to go to show, you don't need to spend a ton of money to have fun fishing. Relatively cheap. I could probably get cheaper than this if I even really wanted to try, but I don't really like to buy that cheap of stuff. I'm not going to recommend those kind of things to y'all, because I don't know, it'll be annoying if you're trying to use it, especially if you don't know what you're doing already. So $20, I guess we can call this a fishing challenge. I don't know, I don't like those. Anyway, I'm just gonna end the video because I'm rambling and trying to think of things worth saying, and I'm not good at it. So catch y'all next time.